Good afternoon, sir. I'm Decadet Zuniga Vicente, and we are the Group 7, and we choose a topic, health and safety of shipboard personnel. Accidents at sea can be avoided with a proper training plan in place. All sea-going vessels have a safety management plan with a manager to look after it. The ship's safety officer is appointed to look after the safety of the fellow crew on board and to promote a safety culture and preach safety awareness by means of training and motivation. If there is no safety culture and supervisor on board ship, it can be a dangerous situation for the ship's crew and the cargo. Moreover, in case the ship is involved in an accident, it endangers the marine environment as well and further increases downtime and financial losses. Hence, the ship's crew must understand the importance of a seafarer ship and inculcate a safety awareness culture which can be better done with a qualified safety officer on board ship. So, here are the four examples of our topic that will explain by Deck Cadet Balaga, Deck Cadet Opinion, Deck Cadet Dinawanaw, and Deck Cadet Yulin.
Shipping is one of the biggest and risky sectors of international trade in the world. Transporting cargoes between oceans involves physical and financial risk. Every part of the transport business has strict rules. The first rule is security and safety of seafarers. The most important of all treaties dealing with maritime safety is the International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea, or SOLAS. The main goal of SOLAS Convention is to specify the list standards for the construction, equipment, and operation of ships. Personal protective equipment, or PPE, is the first line of defense to keep maritime workers safe while on duty. Seafarers have to wear and use the PPE and follow the instructions provided. It is explaining that the suitable for work equipment means seafarers should be suitable for the task performed without any risk. Seafarers has health standards suitable for the conditions of seafarers' working environment. He or she should be trained in all equipments that it will use in the case of any risk. Protective clothing. The most common piece of protective clothing is a coverall, which protects the body from injuries due to hazardous substances like hot water or a welding spark. Maritime workers popularly refer to a coverall as a dangri or a boiler suit. Helmet. Some of the most devastating injuries maritime workers incur are head injuries. Hard hats or helmets with chin straps can guard against head injuries even if the worker trips or fall. Safety shoes. Bulky cargo and machinery, welding, falling objects, and slick surfaces create conditions that benefit from appropriate footwear. Safety shoes helps workers to find their footing safely, which prevents slip and fall accidents. Also, safety shoes protects feet from crossing injuries. Safety shoes should be both non-skid and steel-toed. Gloves. Gloves of many different descriptions can provide on board a ship as PPE. Some are heat-resistant gloves for working on hot surfaces. Cotton gloves improves grip. Welding gloves protect from burns, and chemical gloves prevent toxic exposure. Protective equipment such as eye protection, hearing protection, respirators, chemical suit, Safety harnesses, unwielding shields are equipments worn to minimize exposure to hazards that causes serious workplace injuries and illnesses.
So now we will have I will have to cite an example, which is onboard ship accident where is occurring. So one of the very major accident in onboard ship is, as we can see in the picture, it is a mooring line accident on board, or incident happen on board that we should avoid, or we should focus to. For that though, we can avoid those mooring lines accident, because it is a danger for us seafarers. So as we can see here in the pictures, there are different kinds that we will consider to avoid a mooring line accident, or we should avoid kanang mawigtikan ta. So as we can see here, so those are the examples that we need to check our mooring lines to avoid accidents. So next here I will show you a sample video on how to prevent or how to
coil or section of loose line can injure or kill if the line suddenly tightens. These hazards are commonly known as bites. People working near bites need to watch feet and hand placement. Never stand in the bite of a line.
So we can avoid that.
Allow a body part to be caught in the bite, or stand near a line that's coming under tension.
It is a more fracture to us.
Pinch points are created where lines meet fixed objects or other lines under tension. The extreme force of a taut line over a metal fitting can catch and crush fingers and hands, toes and feet.
We shouldn't do that.
Be especially aware of loose gloves or clothing, which can be caught at a pinch point.
That is dangerous.
Snapback is potentially the most deadly of all line handling hazards. A worn line, the wrong line, or a line under too much tension can part, snap back, and recoil, striking anything in its path with tremendous force. Always avoid the snapback zone, the likely path of a parted line.
That is the range.
A best practice is to paint the snapback zones on the deck plating as a reminder.
Go through. If
Snapped lines, which are wrapped around a lead under tension, can be even more deadly, since they can swing around the lead in a larger arc,
we can avoid
increasing the snapback zone. And snapped lines, traveling at the velocity of rifle shots, can also bounce and ricochet off solid surfaces, killing on the rebound too.
So that's all. The mooring line accidents on board ship.
So safety of personnel on board the ship. So one of the things that we will be talking about is man overboard. So man overboard on board the vessel is really dangerous for every crew members. This is due to the fact that a man overboard is a person that has fallen off board our vessel, either by accident or due to the cause of nature, for example, strong waves, winds, and typhoons, etc. So how to prevent these accidents on board the ship? So we must consider safety on board the ship by taking care of ourselves and looking out for ourselves. We must not stay near the railings of the vessel, especially if the weather is unstable and the vessel is rolling. So next is we must also look out for other things. For example, someone pushed you off the vessel, or other things like falling off the vessel from either if you are a bosun or painting the vessel. So that's all. Thank you.
see in the pictures, we have the oil spills or oil spreading across the ocean. So oil spills. So oil spills may be due to releases of crude oil from tankers, offshore platforms, drilling rigs, and wells, as well as oil spill are refined petroleum products such as gasoline, diesel, or other products heavier than fuels used by large ships such as bunker fuel or the spill of any oily refuse of or waste oil that caused these people making mistakes or being careless, equipment breaking down. So natural disasters such as hurricanes, storm, surge, or high winds, deliberately acts by terrorists, acts of war, vandals, or illegal dumping. So to avoid oil spill, uh, overflow while refueling by knowing the capacity of your tank and leaving some room for fuel expansion. Shut off a bilge pump while refueling. Don't forget to turn it back on when done. So use an absorbent pad or a fuel cooler to catch drips. Always keep stash handy. So that's all for oil spill.